Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are live, we are live. Happy Millionaire Monday. This is the day that the Lord has made. We are rejoicing and we are glad in it. If you are joining me live, you already know the routine. I want you to hit the like button. I want you to hit the share button. And I want you to tag Lolly Dolly, everybody, and let them know that your boy, Ramonepreston, my squad, we are live right here in the beautiful Buckhead community of Atlanta. And if you don't know, now you know, you are watching the Ramonepreston Show. I want to welcome you to the show today. Good afternoon. My hope and expectation is that your Monday is going absolutely amazing. If not, give me a few minutes to share some information with you. I'm certain that you're going to hear something about your life, something about your business, something about your finances that will help you feel better about today. So good afternoon. Welcome to the Ramonepreston Show. I'm your host, Ramonepreston, every Monday through Friday, 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. We come here live, me on the camera, my team inside of the comments, and we just give you game. We just give you information. We love to just overwhelm you with knowledge about business, about entrepreneurship, about financial literacy, about wealth building, because we all know here at Ramonepreston Enterprises that if you're going to do anything extraordinary in your life, personally, professionally, or financially, it's going to be tied to some type of business system. No matter if you're working for someone who's running a business system or you are the one running the business system, it all ties together. So I want to say thank you for joining the show. If you would be so kind, could you put in the comments what city you're watching me from today? I want you to put in the comments what city you're watching me from today. And remember, if you are a student inside of one of our educational programs, ministry or business, if you are a client or a mentee in our consulting services or our coaching program, please put in the comments what exactly you do with us and what our business relationship is. If you're a student, just put student inside of the comments. If you are a mentee, if you're inside of our coaching program, put mentee in the comments. I want the world to know that there are real people who are students and mentees inside of our programs. You already know, I get this response a lot from people who either talk to me over the phone or if they show up in person to one of our events or just to visit our office. I get this all the time from people that, wow, they are surprised we have a real business, we got a real operation, we have a real community of people who participate and engage in our programs on a day-to-day basis. We know it because we're servicing our clients and working with our students every day, but everybody in the general public don't know. So again, if you're a student or a client, please let everyone in the comments know you are a student. Maybe you can let people know a little bit about what you're learning as a student, or maybe what type of support you're getting as a mentee inside of our coaching program. So I want to say thank you for joining the show today. We're going to be talking about 5 ways to make money using a holding company. So all of you that are interested in learning more about holding companies, if you're watching this show, most likely you have watched at least one video of mine on YouTube or some other platform. And most likely, if you've watched any of my videos, you're probably watching videos on the holding company. It's one of the most common topics that we talk about. It's one of the most sought after sources of information that we provide. So we have courses on the holding company. We have corporate services where we help people set up their holding companies, and it's still one of the most common and highly sought after sources of information that we provide on our educational platform and just through our consulting services, our corporate services, and even in our coaching program. Like, I think everybody that's in my coaching program, at least 90% of the people that are mentees inside of our coaching program probably have a holding company. And most of them didn't have a holding company when we first connected or when they first joined our program, but they learned about it. They restructured their companies and their organizations and their infrastructure, and now they do. So today, I just want to talk about 5 ways to make money using a holding company. Now, again, if you don't know what a holding company is, if you don't know how a holding company works, that's a learning curve for you. That's something that you're going to have to educate yourself about, whether you purchase a course from me or from someone else, or maybe you just Google your way or YouTube your way to becoming a master at understanding the holding company. But I always like to explain to people that when it comes to starting, structuring, and scaling a holding company, number one, once you have the paperwork filed and formed for your holding company and for any other subsidiary that you put under your holding company, once you have the paperwork filed and formed, you have to learn the concept so that you can use this holding company to actually make money and to maximize your organizational enterprise. Otherwise, you're just gonna wake up every day and you're gonna have a whole lot of papers, EIN numbers, articles of organization, Duns and Bradstreet numbers, bank accounts, and you ain't even gonna know what to do with all this information you have or with these multiple entities. So we don't want that to be your story. I want your story to be that. You know what? I started my holding company. I started subsidiaries under my holding company. I got them structured right. I integrated the right systems and processes, and I started making money using this type of concept. All right, so today I'm gonna share with you 5 ways to make money using a holding company. The good thing about it is, even though I only have a few minutes on this live show to share information with you, if for some reason you don't know what the next steps that you need to take when it comes to starting and structuring a holding company, or if you have LLCs existing and you want to restructure your company with a new holding company, if you need help, if you need assistance, this week we are extending a free offer that we opened up last week. So every day last week on the show, I extended a free complimentary business assessment to everyone in my community. Okay. Now we did limit it to 10 last week, but here's what happened. Every day last week, we opened the offer up and we gave you a number to text so that we can put you on the schedule for a free complimentary business assessment. And this business assessment is really me and my team taking a few minutes to identify with what exactly do you need to do? Do you need to start a holding company? Do you need to restructure your current company? Is there some paperwork you're missing or just a few things you need to tweak? And what happened was all last week we got responses. We had people responding. Those of you that are part of our community that watch the show or that watch the replays, a lot of you reached out to us. Well, this past Saturday, I talked to my personal assistant and she was telling me she probably had 4 or 5 people, I think, that text in response to my offer last week, but it was Saturday. We ended the offer Friday. And of course, I didn't want to say no. I didn't want her to say no. She already knew not to say no. So she reached back out to everybody and let them know, listen, we'll put you on the schedule this week, which opened up Pandora's box. So this week again, if you just need to take a few minutes to run what you're doing by us so that we can provide for you a free complimentary business assessment, I want you to text the word holding to 678-276-8253. My team is going to put that number and that instruction in the comments. So again, if you would like to ask me any question about the holding company, how you need to start it, how you need to structure it, what paperwork you need to form. It could be a question about your operating agreement, your EIN number, what state you need to register it in. Any question that you have about the holding company, whether it's starting it, structuring it, expanding it, making money from it, restructuring your corporate structure, whatever the question is, just text holding to 678-276-8253. All right. So I was finished with the free business assessments Friday, but we started having people reach out to us on Saturday, and I think she may have even had a couple people reach out to her on Sunday. So we just said, you know what, we'll open it up for another week. All right. So please, if you have a question about the holding company, or if you just need some direction on what you need to do, don't hesitate to text holding to this number, and we will schedule a free business assessment for you. All right. That's my way of giving back to you. I've been in such a great mode and mood for the past 2 weeks. One reason is because we are officially launching RP Capital. This is an independently owned real estate investment firm and asset management firm that we are officially launching tomorrow. So shout out to everybody that's putting in the comments where you're watching us from. We have West Covina, California. We have Stockton, California. California is in the house. Shout out to all of you. I appreciate you watching the show. And if you are watching us live, please be sure to put in the comments where you're watching us live from. If you're a student, put in the comments that you're a student. If you are a mentee in our mentorship program, let us know in the comments. I really need all of you that are part of our community to participate more on these lives and on our social media pages. I see you, Carlton, on IG. Louisville, Kentucky is in his house. So I need all of you to participate more, because we got a lot of people that's scamming people on social media. Y'all know we got a lot of scammers. We got a lot of frauds. And so my team and I, we want to make sure that people know we are a real company. We have a real business operation. We have a real physical location. We have real students, real clients, real mentees, a real staff. We're doing real business here in Buckhead, Atlanta, and we're doing it with people from all walks of life who don't just live in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay? We have a lot of amazing people in the United States of America. We've even had students from outside of the United States, Canada. We've had a couple students on the continent of Africa, different countries within Africa. So we just appreciate all of you for continuing to support the Ramonepreston Show. So I wanted to share with you five ways to make money using a holding company. Number one, you can make money through, of course, dividends. This is one way. Okay, I'm gonna give you five. Dividends, or another common phrase is owner draws. Okay? So this is one way to make money using a holding company. So what that means is, if you own a holding company and your holding company owns other entities, okay? Let's say if you have a holding company that's set up as a LLC, okay? And then you have another LLC that's owned by your holding company. Well, that other LLC is categorically a subsidiary. It is a wholly owned subsidiary of the first LLC that you have, which is your holding company. All right. And if that subsidiary is an operating business, meaning that it has a product that it provides, sales, it has a service it provides, and it's out in the marketplace doing deals, making money, well, the money, the revenue that comes into that subsidiary can be passed up through that subsidiary, as some people call it, a dividend. And more commonly, they call it an owner's draw, because the holding company, remember, the holding company owns, I'll put OC for operating company, right? The holding company owns. You are the owner of the holding company. So if this operating company is out here in the marketplace doing business and it makes some dollar bills, well, for this money to go from the operating company into the holding company, that would be considered an owner's draw. So that's one way to make money through a holding company. I think that's self-explanatory. Maybe it's not, okay? Another way to make money through a holding company is by offering services. This is another way to make money using a holding company. All right, so what are some of the services that you can offer? Well, I have a lot of creative strategies that I use in my holding company, and I have a lot of creative strategies that I share with my students and mentees to use through their holding company in order to offer services. So some of those services could be, I'm gonna just give you a couple. Asset management. That could be a service that you offer through your holding company. Me personally, especially when you're on the come up, just trying to build some momentum for your corporate business and your enterprise, I personally recommend that you can actually offer consulting. Or if you have some type of coaching services, this is a little more complicated for you to understand if you don't know how to use a holding company. But some of the services that you can offer through your holding company are, number one, asset management services. And you can offer these services to the other entities that you own. You can actually offer it to entities outside of your enterprise. But let's just say you have multiple entities under your holding company and you want to offer some services. Well, you can offer asset management services, but this is a very creative way to not only prevent from having to start separate LLCs, but this is a creative way to at least on the come up gain some momentum and have a little money coming through. Now, a lot of people question, why would you run consulting through a holding company when a holding company is supposed to hold assets? Listen, I've talked to some experts about this. I've talked to some attorneys. I've got good relationships with people who are experts in law, taxes, and I've had different opinions. But I've also had people to agree with me that, you know what? Consulting, coaching, and training, they're really intellectual assets. And if your holding company holds intellectual property, like the assets that you would be using anyway for your consulting, you can, even if it's just temporarily, until you start making some money, you can run that through a holding company, because the primary purpose of a holding company is to hold assets, but it doesn't mean it's the only purpose. Some people just don't understand it, but again, that's something that you have to learn and educate yourself on. So I do a lot of training on this part to show you, don't just have a company that you call a holding company sitting dead because you don't know how to actually make money through it. And if you can't use the first way I just showed you, which is by dividends or owner's draws because your subsidiaries are not making any money, you might have to offer services, at least temporarily, to get some money going. All right, so that's number 2. If you're just coming on, I'm sharing 5 ways to make money using a holding company. All right, this is the 3rd way. You can sell and or purchase assets. So this is a very common, and to some extent it's not so common, but it's definitely a creative way to make money using a holding company, selling and purchasing assets. So for example, if there are assets that you have, either personally, that might not even be owned by your business, but these are personal assets that you have. This is a whole nother course, but you should be thinking about how can I take assets that I personally own and transfer the ownership of them to my holding company so that my holding company can have some type of value, right? And I've seen this happen before, so I know it can happen. I know this for sure. So for example, if you personally have certain assets, and I can give you so many different examples. I'm gonna give you one creative example. We have a client that had personal assets. One of their personal assets was a retirement plan, like a 401k retirement plan. So they created a self-directed IRA. They got an attorney to do the paperwork, did a self-directed IRA into another LLC. And what they did was they created a holding company, and this LLC that had their IRA self-directed, they dropped it under the holding company. And what did that do? That increased the value of the holding company because now the holding company owns the LLC that's actually holding this self-directed IRA, which I think was worth over $100,000 maybe. So do you understand what I'm saying? That's one way. It could be other assets that you personally own. It might not be something as sophisticated and complicated as a retirement plan. It may be a piece of real estate. It may be some land. It may be some vehicles. I don't know. Depending on what the asset is, of course, that asset may need to go inside of another LLC, but whether that asset that you personally own goes into a separate LLC or just directly into the holding company, it doesn't matter. Transferring that asset from your personal possession into your holding company is a way to start accumulating assets inside of your holding company so that your holding company can, number one, have more value, and number two, probably have some working capital to push into a subsidiary to start making money. So the third way to make money using a holding company is by the sale and purchase of assets. But you can't sell assets if you ain't got none inside of the holding company, okay? Number four, another way is interest. If your holding company loans money out with interest, it could be rent or lease payments. If the holding company owns an asset that it actually rents or leases out, or licenses. There's intellectual property, like my holding company owns intellectual property. So that's IP that my holding company owns. That's valuable. It's intellectual property. Copyrights, trademarks, certain proprietary systems and processes. These are things that your holding company can own that even if it's not a physical asset to rent or lease, it can actually be licensed. So that's a powerful way to actually make money, which brings me to number five. The fifth way would be royalties. Rights. This could be patents. It could be trademarks. Come on, baby. Trademarks. So all of these could be different royalties and rights that your holding company owns, and it licenses it out to create some revenue. So I just shared with you five, and I'm not going to say common because they could be common to one and they could be uncommon to another, but I just shared with you five common and creative ways to make money through a holding company. It could be through dividends. It could be through owner's draws. But again, you can't take a owner's draw from a subsidiary into your holding company if the subsidiary doesn't have any money to draw. So that means the subsidiary would need to be making money in order for the holding company to take a draw, because the holding company owns it. But that's one way you can make money. All right. Another way is offering services. You can easily offer asset management services through your holding company. You can also offer consulting. I typically tell my students and clients and mentees, if you start a holding company, or when you start a holding company and you don't have like an operating company that's out there crushing it, making a lot of money, one of the quickest ways to start generating revenue and building a brand would be to offer those type of services through your holding company. Consulting, education, coaching. And if you don't know how to build a consulting business, a coaching business, or educational business, or if you don't know how to run it through a current LLC that you have, I'll be more than happy to give you some direction on that and some tips on that. Of course, we have programs that we teach this stuff, and we work with people every day to show them how to take this type of business infrastructure and use it to benefit you even on a grassroots level. Because if you ain't got a whole lot of working capital, if you don't have a whole lot of credit, if you ain't got money just sitting around and you don't have a lot of resources, you have to get real creative on the come up. So there are certain things that you can do inside of your holding company on the come up that can give you the leverage you need to start making a little bit money. Then you start pivoting into these other things outside of your holding company. Again, number 3, you can sell and purchase assets. Now, again, accumulating assets inside of your holding company is a whole nother process, because what you have to do is you have to be clear on what are the things that you personally own that could actually be an asset to your business. And you got to be willing to give that over to your business, at least until your business is in a position that it can stand on its own. See, my wife and I, we were always willing to take whatever we had personally and lend it to the business, give it to the business, because we wanted our business to become successful and sustainable, not cyclical. We didn't want our business to be sick or cyclical. We wanted our business to be able to thrive and grow. But if you don't have a lot of credibility or a lot of history or resources in your business, you got to use your personal assets. No different than you would have to use your personal credit at first for your business, or be a personal guarantor. A lot of times you got assets, things that you own that got value, that if you gave them to your business, they could increase the value of your business and give you that spread that you need to actually start doing other things, whether it's marketing, making money, selling products, getting out in the marketplace and making things happen. Number 4, the 4th way to make money through your holding company is interest or rent, lease payments. If you have certain equipment, or if you have money that you can loan. There are a lot of private money lenders today, especially in the real estate world, who make money just off interest because they got money sitting, and rather than just letting it sit in a bank and make nothing, they lend it to people that they trust who are doing deals, and guess what? They get interest. Their money is making money for them. And you could do that. You could actually do that through your holding company. The 5th way is through patents, certain rights that you have. It could be copyrights. It could be trade secrets. It could be royalties. Like I'm doing this. Like everything that I'm sharing with you right now, literally, we do. So I know all of it works. We do the owner's draws. We're in a position that we can do it. We offer services. We sell and purchase assets. Not necessarily sell, but purchase. Interest, if we're giving out loans, royalties, licenses. We do all this stuff inside of a holding company. So I know it works, and I know what it's capable of doing for you if you're willing to put yourself in that position. So again, for all of you that are watching, I extended a special offer again this week, And the offer is, if you would like to have a free complimentary business assessment, a business assessment where we take a few minutes to answer your questions and give you some direction and insight on what you can do to build your enterprise, text holding to 678-276-8253. If you're watching, I want you to put in the comments what your biggest takeaway is so far. Like, I've given you 5 ways to make money using a holding company. Give me a big takeaway. Like, which one of those 5, if not all of them, that you didn't even know you could use? Shout out to you, Seaport Industries, Savannah, GA, a mentee and student. We appreciate you, man. Congratulations to you, by the way. Thank you for being a part of our community, and definitely look forward to seeing you tonight on our Millionaire Monday coaching call. So every Monday, 7 o'clock p.m., we host our coaching call for all of our mentees. Blacksmith, he's watching, or she's watching from East Vale, California. Man, we got a lot of Californians on here today. Shout out to all of my California family. Shout out to y'all. So again, I want you to take this number down, text holding to 678-276-8253. Ramon, what are you selling me today? I ain't selling you nothing. And guess what? If you were one of the ones that received a free business assessment last week that we offered, if you were one of those ones that received it, I want you to make sure that you leave something in the comments on what that did for you. How did it help you? And please let everybody know, we're not trying to push you into buying something over the phone. Of course, I want you to do business with me. I'm not afraid to push you now. I mean, I'm going to offer you programs and products and services. So I make no apologies for that, but I just want to make it clear that it's not like I'm saying to you that I'm going to offer you a free business assessment and I take the whole time to just sell you on a program. I might take a minute or two to sell you on the program, whether it's the front end, the middle, or the back end. I'm supposed to do that. I'm a businessman. I'm supposed to sell you on things that I know are going to make your life better. And you should want me to. See, I love people who are willing to sell me on whatever it is that they're offering, especially when they know that I need to know it can actually help me and make me better. So text the word holding to 678-276-8253, and you, my friend, will receive a free business assessment. Because I don't want to wait till the end of the weekend and everybody start texting me on a Saturday and Sunday because you missed the show all week and the offer closed. So we appreciate all of you for joining the show today. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Today's show was on the 5 ways to make money using a holding company. All of this information that I share with you on the show, plus hundreds of other videos, is available inside of our Millionaire Blueprint, our training program. We are so grateful for all of you that are students, mentees, clients, followers, supporters of the Ramonepreston Show and of what we're doing for our community. Thank you all so much. We look forward to hearing from you. Text holding to 678-276-8253. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow, 12 o'clock noon, same place, same time, right here on the Ramonepreston.